Hello, this is Victor, and here I'm starting a new type of videos where I want to talk about wargaming, and especially more dedicated to my experience on Warhammer 40k and Warhammer Fantasy on wargaming concepts. On concepts that we use a lot when we talk about the wargames, about our games, but sometimes maybe are not very clear for people that are starting in this hobby or are starting in these games. And this time I'm going to talk about the meta or the metagame. What is this? What is this about and what we mean by meta? So meta or metagame is everything that is surrounding the game that can influence on the effectiveness of your army, on the effectiveness of some units. Let's put an example and I think it's going to be more clear. So the metagame, for example, can depend on the game group, on the geographic area. Let's put an example that you are in a group that nobody is using vehicles. For example, in 40k, imagine that you are in a group of friends that nobody is using vehicles in these 40k games. So in your meta, the anti-vehicle weapons are not needed. You need anti-infantry and you need some, you need mainly anti-infantry weapons. You don't need anti-vehicles. But let's take one of these armies that are used to play into this environment. So the meta is really the environment where you used to play, and we put this in a tournament where we have a lot of vehicles. Suddenly your army that can be very efficient with your teammates, with your friend or gaming mates. Now your army is not efficient anymore because you cannot deal with vehicles, because you didn't invest in anti-vehicle weapons, because you were not used to play against these vehicles. So this is why the metagame or the environment where you play on is very important, and you have to be careful when you change your environment. So meta and metagame means all the environment that is around the game, that is not really the rules, is not really the units, is what the people around you is used to play and what the people around you normally uses in the games. And this can change from over the time. For example, there can appear new units or new armies that are moving or are making some units more or less efficient. This happens from time to time in 40k, depending on the codexes and depending on the formations. For example, one of the big changes in the metagame that happened in the past was when we start having flyers and when we have the rule of flyers on our games. This changed completely the meta, because then the people had to deal with a new threat and people have to start investing on this new threat. Later also, when they change the rules, for example, for the vehicles, that making the vehicles less efficient, also is making a big change on the way the people is playing the game, and is changing the type of units that people is using. So all these changes, all these things is what we call meta. Is all the surrounding changes, all the environment around the game that is making some units more efficient than others. And it's quite an abstract concept, but once you start involved in wargaming, it's more clear. There are a lot of type of meta games. No, for example, it can be a group of friends playing. So your meta is your group of friends and the armies that your friends have. But there's people that goes to a club. Then the meta is depending on what in this club the people is playing with and what type of units these people is using. And there's a lot of people that is specialized in tournaments. So the meta can be the rules of the tournament. For example, the com. The com is another thing that is shifting what units are more efficient or less, and also impacting the meta game or the meta. So all these concepts, some people is saying what is the meta, or what is the meta at your area, or what are the most popular armies, what are the most popular units, what is the people normally playing with. So, and then based on that, there are armies that are playing within the meta, and from time to time these people trying to play with armies that plays against the meta, and that means that there are armies specialized in dealing with armies that are following or according to the meta or the most popular units. And I think this is summarizing the concept. And yeah, in this series of videos I want to talk about different wargaming concepts in future, like what is a Death Star, or what is blob units, what is MSU, all these type of concepts that from time to time we see on the forums, and most of the people, or maybe newcomers, don't know what is that. So yeah, I hope you find this interesting. Please let me know if you think this is interesting for you, and if you want to see more videos of these types about concepts using wargaming that are not can be difficult or can be strange for newcoming people. And yeah, I'm very happy to keep posting this type of videos, doing this type of explanations. So I hope for you is a little bit more clear the meta. Just summarizing, metagame is everything, all the environment around the gaming that is impacting what units are more efficient and what units are less efficient. And as I explained, can be geographically, can be depending on your friends, can depend on the rules, on change on rules, can be the com of a tournament, the rules of the tournament. If, for example, if a tournament is restricting the flyers, of course this is shifting the meta from one concept. If in fantasy, for example, the rules say that you cannot have units that are that have more points than 200 points, this is forcing some metagame, so it's forcing some type of units to be more efficient than others. So all these type of things, all these type of rules, friends, geographical situation, rules, all this environment around is what we call the meta, and can be very different from one region to another, can be very different from one year to another, and also can be very different from one town to another, depending on the club and depending what armies your friends and what armies in your club are more popular. So yeah, that's all what I want to explain on this video. I hope you find this interesting. Please leave your comment below, let me know what you think. And if it's not clear, yeah, let me know what is your question, and I will try to answer the best I can. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye!